He that dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. This idea of dwelling with God, it's always been God's burning desire to have a people who dwell with Him, and He gets to dwell with them. From the garden, before sin ever entered the world, it was God's wonderful pleasure to walk with man in the cool of the day and to do life together in every way. Sin came to separate that experience in a practical sense or in its fullness, but Jesus came to restore to us in all of creation this huge, satisfying, fulfilling invitation to not just visit God on Sunday mornings and maybe Wednesday nights if you're really plugged in, but to actually do life continually with God, to dwell. He that dwells shall abide. It's like this burning part of God's heart. And we've said that because I believe the emphasis of this psalm is not protection, although it's full of protection promises. It's really about God's desire for relationship. It's just His longing to be with us. Instead of us just saying, oh, I know this psalm, and I pull it out every time I'm in trouble. I just kind of pull it out because it's a promise. God's going to rescue me. God's going to deliver me. God's going to help me. And then when the problem is gone, see you, God, talk to you next time I have a problem. To me, that's a bit of a missing of the mark of what we were created for. It's not just check in when you need something and then check out when you don't. God is worth so much more than that. His heart burns to dwell and have us dwell with Him. And the truth is, that tendency in us to kind of check in at times of need and check out when we don't have times of need, that tendency is a reflection of something. It's a reflection that we don't really know Him the way He needs to be known. Because if we knew Him as He really is, everything in us would beat a path down daily to be with Him. Why? Because He's the most beautiful, satisfying. He's funny. Why do you hang out with certain people? You love being around certain people. Well, you could list the whole list of attributes that maybe attract you to people. They're interesting. We have fun. There's no deals when I'm around them. They don't make me feel, they make me feel valued. All of this stuff and then some is true of God, the real God. I know I've said it many times over the years in many different ways, but that's why to me, when I read the New Testament and we see and read the stories of Jesus walking among common people, what do we find with those common people? They flock to Him out in the wilderness and forget their lunches even. They're so captivated by Him. Come on. It's like their hearts are burning for Him and nobody's forcing them or guilting them into that experience. Like if you don't go to church and be with Jesus, then you're going to hell. I mean, this was not at all the motivator for what they were doing. They were going because they saw something so beautiful. They longed for that. So for me, we have to continually remind ourselves, if I'm feeling like I just want to be around Him when I have a real crisis, and then I don't want to be around Him when I don't, no condemnation to any of us here. It is a reality check, though, on the image of Jesus we hold in our heart. Because I'm telling you, the real Jesus is more beautiful and worth being around and desirable to be around than any other experience in this life, bar none. It's the fact of the matter. It just is.